From the very start, humanity has depended on the vast oceans to stay alive, whether it's hunting fish or trading goods to earn money. That's why there are some famous maritime trade routes like the Malacca Strait or the English Channel. But perhaps the most famous one is none other than the Suez Canal. This historical waterway is the backbone of transporting goods from the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. So, how important is that route in reality? And what is so special about this passage? Welcome to Nautical Depths, and today we will be exploring the Suez Canal and its importance in global maritime trade. Stretching 120 miles, this famous passage is a man-made waterway in Egypt. It connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Gulf of Suez, a part of the Red Sea, which separates the Sinai Peninsula from the African mainland. It officially opened in November 1869, and in a short time, it became a busy route for ships, with thousands passing through each year now. This canal, separating Asia from Africa, provides the shortest way for ships traveling between Europe and areas near the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans. As compared to going around the South Atlantic and Southern Indian Oceans, using this passage saves about 7,000 kilometers for a cargo ship. The canal connects Port Said in the northeast of Egypt to Port Tufik in the city of Suez in the south. Built by the Suez Canal Company between 1859 and 1869, the Suez Canal Authority now owns and maintains it, which is an Egypt-owned authority. In 2015, Egypt expanded the canal, making parts deeper and adding a second 35-kilometer-long shipping lane. This added lane allows two-way traffic in the passage of larger vessels. The story of the Suez Canal goes back a very long time. In ancient times, people built canals to make travel easier from the Nile River to the Red Sea. Some small canals were made by pharaohs like Senusret II or Ramses II. Necho II built another canal, but the most effective one was created by Darius I. This canal connected the Nile to the Red Sea and made shipping goods much easier. The legendary figure Sesostris, possibly Pharaoh Senusret II, might have made an ancient canal called the Canal of the Pharaohs around 1897 and 1839 BCE. Over the years, various rulers like Necho, Darius I, and Ptolemy attempted to build or repair canals to improve trade and transportation. Despite some attempts being abandoned or closed, the idea of a canal persisted through the centuries. In the 19th century, French cartographers discovered remnants of ancient canals, and the dream of a direct waterway from the Red Sea to the Nile was considered by the Venetians and later by the Ottomans. Even Napoleon showed interest in finding an ancient canal during his campaign in Egypt. Although various attempts were made, the modern Suez Canal was not constructed until the 19th century, overcoming challenges and controversies along the way. Thanks to the efforts of a French explorer named Ferdinand de Lesseps, the idea of making a big canal to connect two bodies of water started in the 1830s. Many years later, Ferdinand de Lesseps, a former French diplomat, got funding from the French government and permission from the Ottoman ruler in Egypt. The building of the Suez Canal officially started on April 25, 1859. They thought about moving around 2,613 million cubic feet of earth for the canal, with 600 million on land and 2,013 million through dredging. The whole project was expected to cost around 200 million francs. However, not everyone liked the idea of connecting the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. Britain thought it was a political move to reduce its dominance in seaborne trade. Britain opposed the project until 1875, when it bought a 44% share in the canal after Egypt had to sell its shares due to money problems. Building it was a massive task that took almost a decade. Workers had to remove a lot of earth, and over 1 million Egyptian peasants were forced to work on it. Sadly, tens of thousands of them died from diseases like cholera, and the conditions were harsh, almost like slave labor. Finally, after 10 years of hard work, the Suez Canal officially opened on November 17, 1869. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing for the canal in the 150 years since it was built. When it was ready for navigation, it was 200 to 300 feet wide at the top, 72 feet wide at the bottom, and 25 feet deep. However, by the time it was done, the whole project cost more than twice what they originally thought it would. It faced problems like politics, money issues, and technical challenges, leading to the canal closing down 5 times. The last closure lasted 8 years, and it reopened in June 1975. As we told you before, the Suez Canal is a crucial shortcut for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. Before the canal, ships had to take a long and risky journey around the bottom of Africa, which could take several months. However, it provides a shorter and safer route, saving time and money for shipping companies. Approximately 12% of global trade passes through this famous waterway, making it one of the most important maritime trade routes in the world. It handles about 30% of all global container traffic, transporting over $1 trillion worth of goods annually. On average, 50 ships navigate the canal each day, carrying between $3 to $9 billion worth of cargo. In March 2021, an incident took place which stopped the entire trading through this passage. The recent incident where the Ever Given, a large container ship that blocked the canal for 6 days, highlighted the canal's crucial role in global trade. The disruption caused a backlog of ships and had a significant impact on supply chains. Companies had to choose between waiting for the canal to reopen or rerouting vessels around Africa, adding costs, resourcing, and fuel bills. This passage is a lifeline for trade between the West and East, with about 10% of global trade passing through it every year. This maritime route is not only important for its role in facilitating trade, but also for its strategic location. It connects Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, serving as a vital link for shipping goods between these key regions. The canal's significance is further emphasized by the lack of suitable alternatives, except for the long and costly trip around the southern tip of Africa. In 1875, when Egypt faced bankruptcy, Britain strengthened its control over the country as European banks took financial control. The continued control by France and Britain stirred resentment among the Egyptians, leading to Britain's invasion of Egypt in 1882. Although Egypt retained virtual independence through the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty of 1936, Britain maintained complete control over the waterway. During World War I, Britain declared Egypt a protectorate and deployed forces to safeguard the canal. This continued until 1922, when Britain granted nominal independence to Egypt. Despite the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty declaring Egypt a sovereign state in 1936, Britain only agreed to withdraw its troops in 1956. The Suez Crisis, a major political upheaval, began in 1956 when Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser nationalized the canal and closed the Straits of Tiran. This led to the UK, France, and Israel invading Egypt. It was only when the United Nations stepped in that the three forces pulled back, letting Egypt open the canal again for shipping. However, political unrest persisted, and in 1967, during the Six-Day War between Israel and Egypt, Egyptian authorities shut down the canal. The closure stranded 15 ships in the Great Bitter Lake, known as the Yellow Fleet, until 1975, when Egypt reopened the Suez Canal after peace talks with Israel. Since then, the canal has remained a crucial transport link between the Mediterranean and Red Seas, enabling international ships to avoid the challenging voyage around the southern tip of Africa. To this day, this maritime passage stands as a crucial artery in the global trade network. Its strategic significance has shaped world trade, offering a shortcut for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. Despite historical challenges, the canal remains a vital conduit for international shipping. For more videos about such important maritime routes, subscribe to the Nautical Depths and hit the bell icon to stay updated.